Thank you very much, and thank you very much for organizing such wonderful conference. This is my second time in this conference. Thank you, Pauline and Eva. And in the first conference, I told about all the competitions which we organized in Latvia. But in this presentation, I will focus on how traditional Latvian mittens and gloves are used as source of inspiration. And at first, I will go short introduction about Latvian mittens and gloves, and then I will continue with my study. And for Latvian, mittens and gloves are more than just a useful piece of clothing. The mittens and gloves have become a fundamental affirmation of Latvian identity. And there are big collections, and for example, 18th and 19th century collection of 3,000 gloves, socks, and samples from all Latvia in the History Museum of Latvia. And our ethnographer, Mirza Slava, has collected 5,500 glove and mitten designs of 20th century. And Latvian mittens and gloves had a practical, decorative, and symbolic meaning. And for several centuries, the mittens and gloves were the main form of gift. Mittens and gloves were used as presents at weddings, in christening the children, and also in funerals. In Latvia, the knitting of patterned mittens and gloves has developed in response to the northern climatic conditions, cold winters, and mittens were knitted starting from the 15th century. They were knitted from sheep wool yarn using local material. In order to make textiles, yarn had to be prepared by being spun, rewound, and dyed. Before the middle of 19th century, gloves and mittens were knitted in white and dark colors with colorful patterned bands, as you see in the reconstruction. The yarns were dyed with vegetable dyes. In the first half of the 19th century, vegetable dyes were imported into Latvia, which allowed to brighter color tones. In the second half of the 19th century, colorful mittens with patterns were knitted. The most colorful and bright gloves and also mittens were knitted starting from 19th century, 1860s, after the synthesis of chemical dyes. And now you can see the main types of designs of Latvian traditional mittens and gloves, which are background pattern and pattern organized in bands. The pattern is variable and the organization of pattern can differ greatly. Several glove mitten patterns are interrupted by overknit, which is independent band pattern, as you see two examples. In general, Latvian patterned gloves are characterized by geometric ornamentation. At the end of 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, stylized plant flower motifs were also knitted alongside them, as you see in this picture. I will give you, this is not original mitten, but it is copy made of ethnographic from 19th century. And some years ago, each craft student made one pair of mittens, but not, unfortunately, not nowadays. But when I studied in applied art school in Riga for 4 years, I knitted 6 pairs, and we all knitted 6 pairs of mittens, traditional mittens. And now about my study. The aim of a study is to explore the use of mittens and gloves as a source of inspiration in products created by pupils grades 5 to 9. And different researchers studied use of the ethnographic material. And for example, Estonian researcher Sumata Vet concluded that they are basically 2 ways of using traditional artifacts, one of which is that a copy of the artifact is made, and other when the traditional artifact is only used as a source of inspiration. One other craftsman and also researcher, Jõeste, use Estonian ethnographic gloves and mittens in 3 ways: making copies, making a personalized copy, and creating new products. Finnish researchers Kohia and Seitama Hakkarainen classify the forms of using traditional heritage as the preservation, the application, and transformative strategy. And as the studies show, craftspeople in Latvia combine the study of traditional ethnographic material with creative self-expression to make objects for modern use. And the research question of this study is, in what ways are traditional Latvian mittens and gloves used as source of inspiration for the making of creative craft products, purses? And the sketches and craft products created by the students together with source of inspiration, photo of traditional mitten or glove, were analyzed with qualitative content analysis. The students' works were photographed and grouped according to similar features in the use of a source of inspiration, using inductive content analysis, which involves open coding, category creation, clustering, and generalization. The grouping was reviewed several times, similar to working with text content units. The creative products created by the students, purses with a source of inspiration, were compared to the selected mittens or gloves, paying attention to the elements of the pattern as a whole, the pattern arrangement, the color combination, and as well as the techniques used. Results. The students used both geometric ornamental patterns and ornamental patterns with plant or flower motifs. The students choose both gloves and mittens with simple, small patterns and complex patterns. Both gloves and mittens with background pattern and a band pattern were used as sources of inspiration. The most frequently used techniques are embroidery, sewing, bead weaving, textile applique, knitting. Less commonly used are felting, crocheting, weaving, macrame, braiding, silk painting, mold technique, chenille technique, and patchwork. And students inspired from signs which are used in different gloves and mittens. And now you can see the main signs which are used in the mittens. This is star, double cross, fire cross, sun, herringbone, the wavy line, floral patterns, and Jumis, Ūsiņš. These are special Latvian deity. And results. There are 6 ways in which the selected elements of pattern fragments are used. The element or pattern is left unchanged, and it is used in new product, purse. The second, the element or pattern is left unchanged, only colors are changed. When the elements are arranged, the elements are supplemented with other elements, the elements are simplified, and the last one, approach the geometrical patterns are transformed to biological patterns. And now you can see one example of a created product, purse, and you can see that pattern is left unchanged. And the techniques are embroidery and sewing. Cross stitch is used. And this is similar. The pattern is left unchanged. And the same in this work. Embroidery, different stitches are used, and also sewing technique. Also the same approach, embroidery, cross stitch, and embroidery with beads and sewing. You can also see the mitten in the middle, which is used as the source of inspiration. This is according to a first approach, the element and pattern is left unchanged. Embroidery with beads and also sewing is used. And this is made by knitting with beads. And also example where knitting with beads is used. And weaving with beads. Also weaving with beads. And this is example where knitting is used, and also cross stitch on knitting. And also knitting and old traditional techniques are used in knitting. And here you see example where braiding also is used. And one example was where lever technique and chenille technique in sewing is used. And this is very complicated example because together are used 4 different techniques: knitting, crocheting, weaving, and embroidery. And this is according to second approach, where small part of pattern is left unchanged, only colors are changed. And the same in this. Also in this weaving with beads. And also in this. And this is in crocheting technique. And now you see felting together with embroidery with beads and sewing. Felting. And this is third approach. The elements are arranged and used in different way. And now you see cross stitch and sewing together. Thank you. A third approach with same, different students, different works, but the same approach. Also different techniques. And fourth, way that elements are supplemented with other elements. Also embroidery, knitting, and also silk painting. And now the fifth approach, that simplified elements or patterns are used. And now you see applique technique and embroidery, and also sewing, as in all. Applique and embroidery. Felting also. And this is the last one. The geometrical patterns which are used typically in gloves and mittens are transformed to organic patterns. And for this, crocheting, felting, sewing are used. So, and now I will go to conclusions. I'm sorry. Mittens and gloves are used in variety of ways as sources of inspiration for the creation of new products. And three approaches to using color combination have been used, using the same color combination as in the source of inspiration, using a slightly modified color combination, or using a color combination different from the source of inspiration. The most frequently used techniques are embroidery, weaving with beads, sewing, knitting, followed by less common techniques, applique, crochet, braiding, felting, and silk painting. Fragments of gloves and glove ornaments and also mitten ornaments have been used without change. They have been simplified, rearranged, supplemented with other elements derived, and in some works the geometric patterns of mittens and gloves have been transformed into organic patterns. And we conclude that the forms of using traditional heritage in students-made products can be as the preservation, application, and transformative strategy, according to Finnish researchers Kohi and Seitama Hakkarainen. So, thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, and I really appreciate the work you are doing in this area. So I want the first to take the question. So in my country, we have already lost many traditional craft, and we really need project like this to help young people reconnect with the country roots. So I want to ask, Do you think this kind of teaching method could also work in place where tradition are already fading or even nearly forgotten?
Excuse me, about Latvia today, or
About your working in this way to like education the students.
Yes, I try to enjoy my students with crafts. As I work with future preschool teachers, also with elementary school teachers and design and technology teachers, it is not always easy, but I try to enjoy.
So you think it's helpful to pop Latvian culture?
Yes, I think that is uh, needed to keep our traditions in different ways.
Okay. So, okay.
Thank you so much. About the patterns specifically, I know that in some cultures, a pattern can be a representation of one family, for example, or one group of people. Is it the case for the patterns in the gloves that you presented?
It is not known such a family, but they are very different, but they have common features, as you saw. Yes.
Thank you. It was beautiful. It's also about patterns. You said that there is a simplification of pattern, but we show that the pattern have a signification. So when the student is in simplification, what does they want to say?
I think that it is connected with techniques which are used, because you saw that there was used mostly applique technique, and in this technique is very difficult to use all pattern, and that's why I think this simplifying or stylization is used, or felting, for example, where it's not easy to use the same pattern without changes.
This is just a follow from your question. Do students find identity in these patterns?
They also write about their works, and I saw in these writings that they was thinking about identity. Some of them choose pattern from this region they are, and they thought about this.
Do they invent new symbols?
I show some examples where new lines or some elements are added, yes, in some works. But mainly they use the same element or pattern and make changes, small changes.
Hi. As the pattern have a meaning and tell a story, I would like to know if there are certain patterns that are only offered on special occasion, such as a wedding or birth.
Okay. we have tradition which was used for several centuries, that girls learn to knit, and they knit a lot of pairs before wedding. For example, I read that about some girls knitted about 50 pairs of mittens or gloves. Yes. And also people in knitted mittens for their funerals they kept. And yes, and their relatives gave these mittens as a gift in funeral ceremony.
Hi, I have another question more like from the form. The form of the mittens are really specific. There is a reason from that, or is it just easier for making it? And it's not changing from yours?
This form, I think, is according to wearing easy, and yes, it is easy knit row by row in this way.
Yeah, that's why it's in triangle. Okay.
Yes, I can show you also. These are 2 pairs of mittens knitted in last academic year, and design and technology students choose this, and you can see process a little bit now. So, and I can also add it that I work with preschool, future preschool teachers, and we used in one task fringes, which are typical for many gloves and also mittens, as you see in the picture. And also we used the signs in our material, which is plasticine. Elementary school teachers had such task to look for element which they would like, and then transform a little bit, add some lines or some elements, and you can see.
When you teach to students, do they tend to want to stick to the traditional patterns, or do they want to make them more modern? Like, do they want to preserve the traditions, or do they tend to get more innovative? Like, how do they perceive the role of the tradition in that?
The students like to use Latvian signs. It is very popular to use in the tasks and also in cloth. Yes. It is like Latvian identity, because we are free country only from 1990s. And it's yes,